Where's Alan Williams?
Right here, sir.
Okay, this presentation is dedicated to you. As you'll see why.
Yes.
Okay, I'm glad you found it. All right, so this is it. I'm going to read it to you.
Hermetically sealed.
I'm having a tough time with the idea that it's digital. Having been the editor for a couple of years, I definitely remember all the paste up work done to do it on a ditto machine.
Oh yeah. And Jan Blickenstaff, who can't be here, he's down in Waco, Texas. His email address is something like Jan4343 still. Something. All right, well here it is, guys. No, that's not it. This is a flyer for the hub. What we're That's why I dedicated it to Alan Williams. Alan taught me the timing. Okay, this is it. Really, the real McCoy. Can I have a drink of water? No, he drank out of that.
Next time.
Okay, why Zog 43? Without hype, hyperbole, or teasing, except in this first paragraph, this is the true explanation behind the name of the storied Narhams Zog 43 newsletter. And although frequently speculated upon, this really is the first time the account has appeared in print. The Appalachians The Appalachian's genesis seems quite natural. Let's go back in time. Cue up the Wayback Machine, please. Before the club was chartered, I knew we wanted to have a club newsletter. I got religion in 1964 at Narhams 6, meeting one evening with Jay Apt. He was, you saw him here just a few minutes ago. Jim Kukowski, who's now down in Tennessee, who wasn't able to meet with us tonight, but was planning on coming. And Pat Stakem. Pat sends his regards. Jay and Pat were contemporaries. Jim was NAR's executive director, and Jim was pushing us to form sections. The exchange of ideas and news through a club newsletter was one of the things a club should do, Jim explained. After Wallops Island, Narhams 6, I started getting the club together with Doug Frost, Paul Connor, Rusty Rice, and other great members of the Northwestern Model Rocket Club, the most membered progenitor of Narhams. I mention these three because all four of us went to Narhams that year, were affected by seeing those really great Rocketeers and meeting such people as Harry Stein, Willie Lay, and Bill Anders, who we didn't know at the time would make history with the first human mission to the moon and photograph the now iconic Earthscape image. And John Raines has a picture of, that's a good picture. He's a picture of Bill Kruger from the director of the Wallops Flight Facility, and it also has in there Bill Anders, and who else is in that picture?
G. Harry Stein.
G. Harry Stein, and the kid holding up the little egg capsules.
Only Ed could identify the person.
Is Charlie Dolfer. And this is the guy that later on went to Iraq looking for weapons of mass destruction. And,
Or high-power rockets.
or high-powered rockets. Don't let folks tell you that model rocketeers don't do great things. So anyway, okay. With the club developing, I started to wrestle with what to call the yet-to-be-named newsletter. And to this day, I remember the deliberation at my Hyattsville childhood home. I was standing at the piano, staring at the mail we put on top of the piano cover. This brought back earlier members. Cue up the way back machine again, please. My family had always been interested in science fiction. I grew up with two uncles who had read books and books on the subject. One uncle, Bob Pavlett, was a founding member of the Washington Science Fiction Association, WSFA, in the late 1940s. I remember coming home one Sunday in 1963 to see the top of the piano just covered with chrome Von Stellich's Destination Moon statuettes. WSFA was holding the 21st World Science Fiction Convention that year, and Bob, as treasurer, had purchased the awards. I would go to that 600-person convention and see Willie Lay there before meeting him again at Narhams. Bob also had a fanzine called Bobolink that he'd send out periodically. A fanzine was a publication that an amateur science fiction enthusiast sent out to others for comment, exchange, print a story, tell some news, etc., in the same way maybe a blog does today. We had a mimeograph machine in the basement, and that helped facilitate that. Bob had probably the only terrestrial named zine of the lot that he received. I got to see them folded and stapled and taped as mail on the piano in the same manner that some of us receive Zog 43 today. Some had star or constellation names, or with acronyms, for example, BEM, that only those in fandom would know about. That is, like BEM stands for Bug-Eyed Monster. And so as I pondered the name for our club newsletter, I saw a kinship with these fanzines. There were other great model rocket section newsletters with clever names like Countdown, North Shore being the first, I think, Launchpad, also a couple of clubs, Polaris, the Zenith section, and Starburst, Steel City. But I wanted our club newsletter to be different than a play on words with a section name or rocketry. It would have to be a combo name and number. Zog was chosen because it was short, sounded nice, and was alien friendly. I had never heard of it before. Why I chose to start with a Z instead of the oft-used K for alien names, I have no idea. I guess the letter Z is less used. I tried out making guttural sounding foreign sounds, and Zog came out. I am very glad that exercise wasn't recorded. It would have most likely seemed embarrassing now. The number to choose was a puzzle. This too I wanted to be unique, and therefore it'd have to be a primary number. I didn't think of log, imaginary, or exponential notations. Otherwise our newsletter might have had a subscript in the name. Imagine Zog to the minus 43rd power. 43rd was chosen because I had encountered it often. I lived on 43rd Avenue. The last two telephone numbers of my telephone were 43. The zinc steel 1943 penny was unique, and you still got them occasionally in circulation back then. Some major coffee brand, it was Maxwell House or Nescafe, advertised that 43 coffee beans were in every cup, and so on. 43 as a primary number seemed to be a good choice, and it wasn't too big either. When it came to voting on the name, the club seemed to take to it. There were a few suggestions for a more terrestrial play on the rocket theme, but alternatives didn't muster any support, and people voted for Zog 43. As they say, the rest is history. In short, the connection with us was with having a science fiction family and fanzines laying in the background for us. The number, then as now, just seemed to pop up with unusual frequency and appeared unusual enough to choose. That's that, and indeed it is a small world. This last paragraph concludes with some connections which are really freaky, and it has little to do with the newsletter. The Hugos I saw on the piano that day, the name of the Science Fiction Awards, were designed by Jack McKnight, whose daughter Peggy Ray would later marry my uncle Bob. Jack took the rocket design from Willie Lay, and Chesley Bonestell immortalized the design in his renderings. Lastly, club member Jim Myers married Jan Derry, the daughter of Chick Derry, a family friend and another original of the 7 founders of the Washington Science Fiction Association. And so that was written from memory, good or bad, in 2009.
Ladies and gentlemen, I had my doubts. I really didn't know if we were going to actually get it from him. He's been putting this off for years now. I've been an active member since '89, and he's been telling us for all these years, 26 now, he's going to tell us. We finally heard it tonight. I'm glad you were here with me.
But are you sure?
No.
Jim, as a former editor of Zog 43, I gotta say, that number has followed me ever since, too.
Yeah, I think that a lot of us, especially the Narhams members, definitely have some coincidences with that as well. So, just a couple things I want to mention to you real fast, and we'll get back to mingling. There's still a lot of food over here, so please do not be shy. Come over. Lots of stuff to drink. We don't want to take it home. We'd rather you take it home with you. Secondly, we did not know coming into this tonight that the museum was actually going to be open for us to peruse. So you are welcome to go downstairs, walk around the museum, enjoy the exhibits. We are here until 10 p.m. You're welcome to stay as long as you'd like. We just ask that you do not take any food or drink downstairs. But please take the time to enjoy the exhibits, enjoy each other's company. Lastly, about 9 o'clock, we're going to announce the winner of a couple of raffle tickets that we have over here. And I believe that is everything on my list.
Can I ask you to arrange something?
Absolutely.
Can we get a photograph of everybody here who has a 4-digit number?
Ooh.
There's a bunch of us.
There's a bunch of 4-digit guys here? Would that be the right way to say?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we can definitely do that. So anybody that wants to request a picture, all you got to do is come up and get me on the intercom, and I'll be or the PA, and I'll be happy to get you over here. So the first request is for 4-digit NAR members. So I'm going to move the podium out of the way, and I'll ask you to come up and gather, and we'll get some pictures. So if that's everything for now, thank you for your attention, and thank you for coming this evening. So far, I think this has been great. Thank you.